Good morning, America, and hello to all of our friends also in more distant global locations. I'd like to welcome you to Best Center's 2022 Annual Institute. And what is Best Center? It's short for Building Efficiency for a Sustainable Tomorrow. We are funded by National Science Foundation's Advanced Technological Education Program to assist community and technical colleges with educational program development in commercial heating and air conditioning, building automation, and energy management. And our goal is to ultimately create technicians that are able to support high performance building operations. If you're here today to learn about cutting edge building technologies research and how we apply that knowledge to high performance building operations and technician education, you're in the right place. Happy 2022. I'd like to note that this year marks the 10th anniversary of Best Center. Hard to believe. We started fall of 2012. And we couldn't have this event without the support and efforts of many, many people. First of all, I do want to thank everyone in the audience for making time out of your busy schedules to attend. We know you have a lot of options where these online events are concerned. So I want to give special thanks to all of our educators, our design professionals, manufacturers, research scientists, members of non-government organizations and public agencies, and last but not least, any students out there for, again, helping to make this a successful event. I also want to thank our sponsors, HVAC Excellence, Contemporary Controls, and the Northwest Energy Efficiency Council. You probably know them better as Building Operator Certification. I also want to thank ASHRAE for providing their event endorsement. And then also, for the Berkeley Lab team, many thanks to everyone there. I especially want to note Ellen Thomas, Laura Wong, and Margarita Kloss. And then finally, last but not least, our very own Kim Gonzalez, whose exceptional talents and assistance have really helped to pull off this event. So, now I will turn the mic over to our co-principal investigators, starting with Ted Walensky at Milwaukee Area Technical College.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, I'm Ted Walensky. I'm one of the co-PIs on the Best Center grant, and I teach at MATC in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I teach building control systems courses. Next person, Larry.
Robert Nirenberg.
Morning, everyone. I'm Robert Nirenberg from Metropolitan Community College in Omaha, Nebraska, and I teach building controls and HVAC.
Next, Brian.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I wish we could all be together in person, but it's great to have you on here for another virtual session. I'm Brian Lovell, co-PI with Georgia Piedmont Technical College in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's hard to believe it's been 10 years, almost 10 years since we had our first BAS workshop at GPTC. So I know a lot of you on here were at that event. So 10 years goes by fast. But I also am the principal for the Association of Controls Professionals and look forward to a great event today.
And Peter Crabtree, our principal investigator.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Peter Crabtree, principal investigator for the Best Center and visiting project scientist at the Center for California Institute for Energy and the Environment at UC Berkeley, who's our new home for the best center.
And Mary Ann.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mary Ann Piette from Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and I am a research scientist. I'm a senior scientist here at the lab in the Building Technology and Urban Systems Division, and I'll be giving you an overview of today's and the next few days' agenda. Would you like me to start that now, Larry? That was a yes. Okay.
That's a yes, sorry.
No problem. Okay, so it's my great pleasure to introduce you to the presentations and the talks that you're going to be hearing over the next 3 days. These talks are oriented towards giving you an overview of some of the emerging trends and directions in the buildings industry and how we're pivoting towards a lot of work on energy efficiency and grid integration towards decarbonization. And we'll be starting at 8:30 this morning or whatever time zone you're in at the half hour in about 20 minutes with an overview from Jennifer Holm, who is a research scientist at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, who was at COP26. She was in Scotland for the climate talks. And then we'll be hearing from Andrew McAllister, who is a California Energy Commissioner. Andrew will talk about the decarbonization pathways in the building sector in California. So you'll be hearing about the global perspective, and you'll be hearing about the California perspective. And after that, you're going to be hearing from Jessica Granderson, who's the Director for Building Technology with the White House Council on Environmental Quality. She's visiting there as a scientist. She's in my division, and she works on information systems in the building sector. And she's also been working on the national agenda for decarbonization of buildings. This is an urgent issue, and these talks are going to give you the background to understand what's happening in this field and how to bring that to classrooms around the country so that we inspire our HVAC technicians to get excited about the technology that's being deployed, because this is a critical time for this field, for people to understand how to bring this new technology, how to make sure it works, how to make it more cost effective, and how to create the metrics around the performance. Next, you'll be hearing from Jared Langevin, and he'll be talking about decarbonization modeling. When we pivot from energy to carbon, there's a lot of complexities because we have to think about now the electric grid, not just how much energy the building uses, but what kind of energy from the grid the building's using. And we're doing a lot of work on changing from natural gas and oil heating to heat pumps and electric space heat, electric water heating, electric cooking. So he'll be going through how we're thinking about those metrics and what that means. After that, I'll be talking about decarbonization with grid interactive efficient buildings. Because if we electrify the buildings, but we don't make them grid interactive, we actually have a big challenge managing the electric grid. So I'll be talking about what does it mean to be a grid interactive efficient building and why that's important. William Banfleth will be talking about indoor air quality after COVID-19, which I know we're all thinking about with the Omicron. It's really kind of a continuing challenge when we go into any building and we think about what's happening with the ventilation. You're going to hear about teaching sustainability and energy literacy to technicians, facilitated by Ted. And then we're going to talk about why real estate companies voluntarily make energy efficiency and sustainability a core part of their business. So that's day one. That's a lot just today. But there's more tomorrow. On day two, we're going to be starting with Cindy Renier, who's talking about connected communities. Now, a connected community is a group of buildings. So a lot of the technologies and systems and metrics we've been talking about are individual buildings, homes, commercial buildings, warehouses, hotels, motels. But in order to scale this agenda, the Department of Energy has made a major investment in 10 connected communities. And we'll be talking about what that research is. A connected community has communication between the buildings and the grid. And they also have what are called distributed energy resources, DERs. DERs are EVs, behind the meter storage, thermal or electric storage, as well as photovoltaics. So we have systems of technologies. And while we've been focusing on energy efficiency and decarbonization, we're now all challenged by, what does it mean if I have solar on this building? Should I have a battery? And what kind of grid services should I have? And electric vehicles are a huge opportunity for decarbonization. But as we know, we're all learning how to integrate those with building controls. The next talk by Ronan Levinson, he'll be talking about cool roofs for homes and strategies to save energy, improve comfort, and boost resilience in extreme heat. This is an urgent issue as well. We have to build buildings that can withstand the extreme heat events that we're seeing throughout the United States. We see them in northern climates, but in many southern climates, these are deadly. Heat events and heat deaths are the most common climate-related health issue in the United States and around the world. So there's a huge issue with trying to understand what we can do to mitigate heat in these chronic events. Following on with that theme, Nihar Shah will be giving an overview of the Global Cooling Efficiency Program and the efficiency to new refrigerants. So refrigerants have a big role in climate change. A lot of the hydrocarbons used in refrigerants are very toxic to our environment. So we want both energy efficiency and new refrigerants. And these technologies are critical. So Nihar Shah will be talking about the global effort for cooling efficiency and the pledges that are happening from countries around the world. As we bring in new air conditioning, we want to make sure it has the right type of refrigerants and is energy efficient at the same time. After that, you'll be hearing about variable refrigerant flow systems and the changing face of heat pumps. And as I mentioned before, heat pumps are critical in the technology for decarbonization. Ian Walker will be talking about paths to residential decarbonization, and he's been developing a roadmap for the US Department of Energy on how to accelerate retrofitting homes and what that decarbonization agenda looks like. After that, you're going to hear from Spencer Dutton about phase change material and thermal energy storage. There's been a huge amount of attention on electric batteries, but thermal batteries and thermal storage systems are also extremely important. And we want to soak up that clean electricity on the grid. We want to be able to make sure that our HVAC systems are embracing that clean energy and using less when the grid is less clean with more traditional energy sources. So thermal energy storage has a very important role in decarbonization and grid interactive buildings. On Tuesday afternoon, we're also hearing about EcoBlock. And EcoBlock is one of those connected community programs that Peter and Sasha von Meyer and Therese Pfeffer from UC Berkeley will be talking about. It's very exciting, urban microgrid. And what's really exciting about EcoBlock is it's a retrofit. It's not a new construction project. So they've actually selected a neighborhood in Oakland, and that neighborhood will have a microgrid that will be able to stand alone during power shutoffs, be energy efficient, and also be a group of buildings with a coordinated energy system for a decarbonization agenda. You're going to hear about diversity in the buildings workforce, and I'm really excited about this session that we'll have a number of speakers that are talking about their career in the workforce and what the Department of Energy is doing to facilitate more diversity in the workforce and to assist in equity and inclusion. And then you'll be hearing about continuous improvement and opportunities for resource development from Brian, who's one of the co-PIs that you heard about from. On the final day, we'll be starting off the day with Jay Santos, who is a leader and pioneer in building commissioning. You'll hear from Elliot Crow, who will be showing you the kinds of technologies that are available in smart analytics and to understand data collection and analysis in commercial buildings. And Marco Bertoni is going to talk about scalable fault detection and control. So that morning is great for an overview of all the cutting edge technology related to buildings and control systems. And then following that on, we'll have a panel that's looking at actionable building data for building operations. And you'll hear from a number of people on how they're doing it. What are they doing in buildings, and an open discussion about building operations and how that's so important for energy efficiency and decarbonization. After the break, we'll be talking, Robert and Ted will be talking about integrating building automation systems in technician education. And then a final wrap up with a number of the team, including Colette Flood from LBL's Workforce Development Program. And we'll also be hearing about workforce education and internships. So I think that's a incredible agenda we put together for you. I hope you can join as many of the sessions live as possible. These will be recorded, but we really look forward to your Q&A and real-time participation. And I'll turn it back over to you, Larry.
Thank you, Mary Ann.